Pete, I'm the old dinosaur here. I am 62 years old. I kicked for UW River Falls Division III school in Wisconsin in what I think is easily the number one non-scholarship football conference in the country, the WEAC. When I played, it was the WSUC. That's teams like Whitewater and La Crosse and Oshkosh and Eau Claire and Stout and guys like that. River Falls was a championship team. They were when I was there. Went through a down period and now has come back very strong. And they're certainly battling in the top three in the conference for the last 3 or 4 years. So gratified for that. Just a little bit about me as a high school kicker. I went to River Falls High School, so hometown boy does good. I played quarterback, kicker, punter, defensive back. Tried to not be off the field if I could. Started to develop as a junior as a kicker to understand that I actually had some success in doing this and I could start to kick the ball a lot further. By the time I was a senior in high school, I was putting them into the end zone, and that became kind of the most important weapon that I had as a kicker. We, like everybody else, didn't try that many field goals. I think I tried 4 or 5 field goals that senior season. I think it was 4 for 6 or something like that. Lots of PATs, and that's typical of high school. Played 3 sports in high school back in the days where there weren't any sports available. So football, basketball, baseball. Went on to college and played for my dad. Got 2 older brothers who were exceptional athletes. Oldest brother, who was a full scholarship baseball player, went to Minnesota, Big Ten. Seemed like he was going to be the Cy Young winner. And you know what? Crazy things happened along the way. And his career changed, and he became a Division I baseball coach, very successful. He's now retired. And my next older brother was a fantastic golfer and got a partial scholarship to Wisconsin to play golf there. And so by the time it got to me, I just assumed I would get a scholarship to play football, basketball, baseball, something. And that didn't happen because as a senior, I am about 5'10" and 150 pounds dripping wet. Not exactly on anybody's great radar, although at the end of the football season, I was like 3rd team All-State as a punter and kicker, and got asked to walk on at Wisconsin and Illinois. But it didn't, in those days, the walk-on wasn't like the preferred walk-on that it is today. I just didn't feel comfortable about it, didn't seem right. And I wanted to do more than just kick at that time. And so ultimately, sort of the last school that I wanted to pick on my list was the home school, River Falls. But then kind of got this feeling like, hey, wait a second, maybe this would be neat for my dad to coach me. Maybe be neat for me to be coached under him. One of the things that's curious for some of you may have played for your father, but as a little leaguer or Pop Warner or something like that, or maybe the high school coach. But when your dad is the college coach, all the little league stuff, all that stuff, he's not there. He's coaching football and he's recruiting and he's doing those kinds of things. So it's not that I didn't learn a ton from him, but I probably learned a lot more from those older brothers. By the time I got to be a freshman in college, I had grown in a 6'1" and about 175 pounds, and then got in the weight room and eventually played at 6'1" and about 195. And so I played one of the few guys that played kicker, punter, and was a starting quarterback, option quarterback. So I don't know how to throw overhand. I only know how to pitch it sideways. But super fun, had a great career and enjoyed it. And maybe the most painful thing about doing that at the time, because my head was so stuck in this, to prove your worth, you got to get a scholarship, which is the wrong attitude to have. It's just not the right attitude. And during the high school season, I felt pressure to try to be, some kind of superstar as opposed to just being focused on what I can do for my team. So I think I lost some of that focus there. And so when I went to college and went to a D3 school, to me, it was initially a big letdown because I knew what that meant. That meant my pro dreams were dead, or so I thought. But as I kicked and punted and passed and whatnot through the summer and got back into, hey, I'm going to have to compete to win this job at this school, I started focusing on that. And I started to play the game the way it should have been played. I should have been playing for my own enjoyment, for the enjoyment of my teammates, and to get us better and to see if we couldn't win a conference championship and all that kind of stuff. And as I did that, my play got better, our team's play got better. And I'll be darned that by my junior year, all of a sudden I've got pro scouts looking at me because I can kick the ball 70, 75 yards back then. So it's a funny road that you can take. And so I really try very strongly to encourage you high school guys to really focus on sort of the Friday Night Lights career. Really, really enjoy it. This is a fantastic time. And I hope very much that you're the kind of kid who can go on to college and kick somewhere. I'm here to tell you that if you're a starting kicker in high school, and especially if you're an all conference type kicker punter, then there's a place for you to play in college if that's what you want to do. It may not be at a big school, it may not be at some school with notoriety, but I tell you, by the time you get to be 20, 21 years old, it's pretty neat to put on the pads and the helmet and get out there and have people cheering for you. And mom and dad get to come and watch you play for another 4 years. It's really special. Whether or not any of us get it to the NFL level, and as I did and signed a pro contract, but also got cut by the Packers, by the Vikings, by the Giants, 3 strikes, maybe you're out. Um, it's a different game. And I have to say, the luster of professional sports, as much as I wanted to be there, I was trying so hard to make it in the pros. And what I ultimately realized was I was good enough to get there. I just wasn't good enough to stay there. And so I've tried to use that experience to help others. And so are there other kicking coaches and other players? I'd certainly like to pick the brains of so many different pro kickers, and I have, believe me, I know a number of them. And, what is it that got them over the hump where I was, in Packer camp, I'm making 7, 8 out of 10 kicks. And the guy that wins the job is making 9 out of 10 kicks. And I got to tell you, at that level, to a coach, that's another win. And that's not his job being lost. And so if I had to choose between me and the other kicker, I think I'd choose the other kicker because I just wasn't consistent enough. I was really good and I could kick it a long, long way, but it wasn't enough. And so I had a hard time just dialing into that sort of robot level. So I think I can help you become a great high school kicker. I think I can help you become a great college kicker. Whether I can help you become a great pro kicker, well, I've always thought about this. Tiger Woods has a golf coach, and I guarantee you, Tiger Woods' golf coach is not better than Tiger. But what he is trained to do is to take a look at Tiger and look at his swing and break it down and hopefully see the little piece of the puzzle that might be missing that Tiger can adapt into his game. Well, kicking and golf and soccer and basketball have a lot of similarities going on. And so there are some things that I could teach and that have proven to be helpful to a whole host of people. So let's